And welcome to this week's edition of Twin Peaks Unwrapped. I'm your host, Bryon Kozowski, and beside me, as always,
Ben Durant.
Hello, Ben.
Hey, Bryon.
One week we should switch it off.
Yeah, we should.
We should switch it off. It'd be kind of cool.
It would be really cool. Maybe one of these times. Maybe the next one. I've had one where I had to do it by myself. Where you remember that one that one time when I went on the event there?
Yeah.
And I had to do it all by myself. So yeah, we should. I always thought that like when we got through the whole series, we could switch it off too. You know, like we kind of gone through. But yeah, we'll talk about that sometime. So we're on episode 23.
Wow.
Yes.
What a journey it's been.
Yeah, what a journey. We're getting towards the end of the series here.
I know, and it's kind of sad. Well, I have to put this over here. It's kind of sad, but exciting at the same time. And they are wrapping things up from these last couple episodes. They're wrapping up the not so interesting stuff.
Yes.
And they're leaving the beefy stuff.
Let's hope so.
I'm hoping.
So this is episode 23. It was written by Trisha Brook, directed by Leslie Linka Glatter. It was February 16th, 1991 was when it aired. The rating was 7.8 rating and 88th place for the week.
It's going down. It's going down.
So I debate about telling you this at the end or at the beginning here, but I think I'll just tell you now. Right that same day on February 16th, 1991, ABC came out and basically saying they were putting on the show on hiatus. So
wow.
So and I think about this and I actually missed this episode because I went to a dance. So it's like this was like the lost episode for me. Where it was like I'm trying to think. It didn't come out. I didn't get to actually see it till it was on VHS. Like they had put out the first season on VHS, and then in 1993 they put out all 29 episodes on VHS. So I had to wait till that VHS collection was there to see this episode.
Man.
So it's I think it was so erratic because there was there was breaks during the holiday season, and then there was the Gulf War, and it was just kind of like I don't even know if I realized the show was on or not.
Yeah, I think like it gets lost, right? You get lost in the.
So I think
else.
Let's say that morning, that Saturday morning, or it came out that ABC said they were putting on hiatus, and what I had forgotten was that basically what they were saying, like we're going to bring the show back in the spring, and it's going to be moved to a different night, and that's something that David Lynch and Mark Frost wanted. They didn't like Saturday; they felt like people went out on Saturday nights and weren't watching. So there was talk about moving it to another night, which would become Thursday night, back to the original day.
Yeah.
They did. So, but it was still kind of, I mean, it's definitely scary. Is like whenever you put a show on hiatus, it's kind of like, oh, is this the end of the show? And I think we'll talk more on another episode, but this is where fans start coming and getting together and trying to save the show.
That's cool.
Yeah. So,
wow.
So do we want to go into the episode and talk?
Yes, we shall.
It starts off with the owl, which you brought up owls. There seems to be more and more owls.
Yes. More owls. You got the chessboard. You don't really get a lot of Wyndham Earle this episode.
He's there through the chessboard. And I mean, it starts off with a recording. So you get to hear more about the recording that's basically saying, it's your move, Cooper. You know, stop stalling.
Because we found that the last episode was the mask on the
Carolyn's
bed.
Mask.
Yeah. So now... Come to find out, it is Caroline. It is her face, Carolyn's face, and I wasn't sure about that. And then
and how did he get it? How did he get a perfect,
a mold?
Mold.
I know that's kind of creepy.
A little bit.
Like maybe she went to bed and he just poured mold on her face.
I might need this later.
Yeah, right. So that just proves to you.
And I'm trying to remember.
The guy's crazy.
It might have been 4 years ago. I'm not positive, but it might have been 4 years ago that she died and stuff. So I'm thinking it was something like that.
Do you think he molded her face after she died to remember?
Maybe
her face.
I don't know.
Or just to get back at Cooper, he knew this is the long con. He really knew he wanted to come after Cooper.
Yep.
So it could be, but. I know I haven't done the log lady in the last couple episodes. I got to bring up the log lady.
Bring up the log lady intros.
Yes. So in this one, she talks about a hotel, a nightstand, a drawer pull, which is a handle for the drawer.
Yes.
Woman of death is the woman of power and death connected to a drawer pull. And oh boy, I was like, where is this going to connect? And it connects at the end of the episode.
And
I will save all my. I'll save it for the end.
All right, we'll
get to that point.
We'll get back to that, but it has something to do with the end. Basically.
Yes. So I missed the Log Lady. I watched this on Blu-ray. This one episode. The last two I didn't. That's why I had no Log Lady information.
I see. So we want to bring up some audio for a second?
Yeah. What do we got?
Cooper's looking at.
Okay, Lucy.
I think I missed it. So I missed it. But he was basically talking about Carolyn there. Yeah.
So this episode, it was kind of cool. This one scene.
So we have the Martells.
Yeah, the Martells.
Yeah, we have Pete and we have Andrew Packard, and Pete and Andrew seem to be kicking off really well. Pete's made like a smiley face with bacon and eggs and.
They're like laughing at stupid stuff, but I love the scene. It like does this whole like pan. He goes like it's a salt and pepper.
Oh yeah,
and it's like one continuous shot up until
Catherine
Josie comes in. She sees what's his face?
Andrew. That would be her husband.
No, Eckhart's the other guy.
Packard. He's a Packard. That would be her husband.
Her old or something.
Well, I mean, I guess she's still technically married, even though she would think that it would be.
Because she had Hank kill him.
Yep.
But Hank failed.
As usual.
He's not very good at what he does.
I mean, he can't kill Leo. I mean, he doesn't seem to get anything right.
Yeah. And, she faints. But you learn that she was with both of these guys, Eckhart and Packard, in a way.
As usual, her story is so convoluted and complicated. And
I think maybe the way I read it as maybe she was married to both of them, or maybe they were both her pimp.
Yeah.
And they took care of her. Now I say pimp, and that's kind of like a very crass way of saying it, but maybe they had her as a person.
I mean, I think it's pretty.
They paid well, and she became maybe. I think
at some point we learned that she was a prostitute.
Yeah.
And I think she did work for Eckert, and Eckert had was partnered with Andrew. So Eckert would be the Hong Kong dealership, and Andrew stayed here in Twin Peaks.
So weird.
And they had a partnership, and I don't know if Eckert was basically saying. Well, I mean, it explains in this episode that Josie, I think, is trying to con Andrew. And the whole point was for her to go there and probably just kill him and stuff like that. So she pretends that she loves him, and
she pretends she loves everybody. Come to find out.
Well, yeah, I question. I feel like she does have some kind of feelings for Harry.
Yes,
I mean,
I think so too. This week's paper was not as generic as Asian Man Killed.
Yes,
I like that. This was like no clues have been found.
Right. So Hank has come to see the Hawks brought Hank to Truman, and because he
broke parole.
Yeah.
And he starts talking about how he knows everything about him and Josie,
right? And
that pisses him off. I don't think we've ever seen him this mad.
Oh no!
Get him out of here! And then he does the punch in the fist,
right.
Like he's
I
so
think
mad.
He's at a point where he can't deny that there's something wrong with his girlfriend. Like I think he's at a point now where it's making him angry that he realizes he's been duped. I mean, I think he's probably angry more at himself than anything.
Yeah. No, it's cool to see Harry yell and get mad. Like,
yes.
It's kind of cool. I mean, I don't think we've had him. Last time he blew up, I think, was Albert.
Yeah, I guess so, right? And even that, he seems more angry now than he was with Albert.
It's his girl that he loves, but he knows she's a little out there.
And talking about Albert, we actually have Albert come back to see Cooper to give him an update about the shooting. You want to bring up some audio over here?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, let's see.
Let's go get her.
Albert, hold your horses.
Coop? I appreciate any reluctance you might have for busting your pal's old lady, but the woman ventilated you and left you for dead.
Albert, I don't take it personally. What about the gloves, the powder tests?
News at 5. All right, fine, you're not mad, but there's an epidemic of multiple gunshot wounds following this chick around. She is a menace.
I'll talk to her. Maybe she'll confess, turn herself in.
Maybe she'll grow wings and join the circus.
I think that Josie, right at this point, as I'm watching this episode, I came, in my notes I wrote, Harry knows she is the killer. Or is it Catherine framed her?
Yeah, I think I think Truman knows that he can't trust his girlfriend.
Yeah.
I think he's realizing that she's involved. Somehow she's involved in all this stuff. And she's been lying to him.
Yeah.
And,
But part of me was like, is it really Josie or is it Catherine framing her? Because she seems happy and later on in this episode when Cooper comes over and says, you got to turn yourself in or I'm going to have to arrest you. She's eavesdropping and she's smiling.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, did she set her up?
Well, Catherine is definitely playing games.
Yes.
It's funny, we see the beginning of this episode with a chess board, and I feel like Catherine and Andrew are playing this game and stuff. I mean, we'll see Catherine is definitely saying, oh, here's a gun. And Andrew is kind of like, oh, you really need to go to Eckerd. And then he goes and see Eckerd in the elevator and say, oh, Josie's coming after you. So, the Martells are definitely playing games with Josie and Eckerd and trying to move things around. And I was just saying, so we saw Albert, and unfortunately, this is the last episode we're going to see of Albert. I like him. I love his dialogue. He's a really cool character. The actor was involved with another show, Broken Bridges. It's a TV show, and I think that he would be doing that show, and then he'd come back, and he'd go back and forth, and so they only had him for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And then there was talk, at least Miguel Ferreira, he's the actor there.
Yep.
He had talked with Wrapped in Plastic that there was talk of actually doing a spinoff of Albert, where I would watch that. That would be really something. Unfortunately, that never came about. A year later, they came out with David Lynch, Mark Frost Productions did On the Air, which is kind of a comedy type thing. It only lasted a couple episodes. They filmed 7 episodes, and he was on that. He was part of that. So I don't know if instead of doing the Albert show, they decided to do On the Air or what happened. But it's unfortunate. And then he's in one more scene in this episode. But it's brief. I mean, it's brief, and then he never says goodbye to Cooper, and we just never have a chance.
But his character has always been that way. He disappears.
Yeah, he kind of like, here's the evidence, goodbye.
Hey, goodbye.
Yeah,
I'm out of here.
Right.
Yeah, it's a shame he didn't give a proper send-off. And this whole subplot with Audrey. I'm sorry.
No.
She's basically, she's going to work a day or a week in everybody's job.
Yes.
So she will know how to do everything.
Right.
And it was interesting. Now we're getting her into Billy Zane. Billy Zane's character. And, this makes more sense.
John Justice Wheeler.
Yeah, Mr. Wheeler. Like they seem to have a good chemistry.
Yeah, they do.
It makes more sense to have her attracted to someone else that's not Cooper. I know she still likes Cooper, but she knows she can't have him because he's too old.
Right.
And Mr. Wheeler, we don't really know how old he is.
Yeah.
But she does do the, I'm only 19 or 18 to him.
18, right.
18. And
the funny thing is he's clearly older though too, because he says he knew her when she was a little child, the pigtails and stuff. So it's like, how much older were you?
Yeah.
It's funny if
I didn't pick that. He looks young though.
He does look young, but yeah. But he still definitely looks older than 18. I mean, I think.
And I wanted to mention this last episode, but Audrey, all of a sudden, she doesn't go to school anymore.
No.
She dresses more adult-like.
Right.
She's 18.
Got her business suits.
She could have graduated high school. We don't know.
Yeah.
Or she can be on winter break.
Well, the only thing is, remember, this show only takes place in a month period. So
she
we go
was
from
in school
February
when Laura
to
died.
March. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's weird. No, she drops out of school. She wants to help the family business, and she's dressing more adult-like.
Yes.
So do you think that's like they want the audience to almost take her more seriously as an adult figure, or it's because, hey, if they had the Cooper storyline, it would make more sense to make her perceived as older than she really is.
I can't remember what the deal was. I know that some of the actors wanted to change their image too. They didn't want to be always pigeonholed to being just like this in the first season. So
Okay.
I can't remember exactly if she wanted, the actors wanted to change direction or I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure.
It makes sense because she wants to be a businesswoman like her dad.
Right.
So she's dressing the part. So it's kind of cool. I like the whole Bill. You're right. I didn't pick up on the Billy's, like him mentioning the picture or seeing her with pigtails, but he could have been. He could have been a
she said
teenager.
She was 10. She said she was 10. I guess she was 10. So I guess let's say he's 12. I mean, I guess I would remember a girl if I was 12 years old and she was 10 or something like that. So they could still be closer in age.
Yeah.
But it's funny, she's 18 and he's got his own personal jet and he's got he seems like an older guy, but
that's true. Who knows? In this world, there is.
And then she gets a letter, a strange letter that's only half a piece of paper.
This is note 1.
Say note 1.
Note 1. This is the clues.
Go to the Roadhouse at 9:30. Yeah. Save the one you love.
And that's written correctly, where the rest of the note is written like scribble.
Now I think you know who wrote that letter? Yeah, Leo there.
But when they showed Leo writing it, it was ridiculous. it was like it was like a 2-year-old.
Wyndham Earl had to make him do it like 10 times.
Yeah.
So Nadine is breaking up with Big Ed.
Yep, they break up. Yay. I was happy for him. I was like, finally.
Yes.
And then he just marches over to the diner.
See Norma there.
Grabs Norma, and he's like, give me a kiss. And that's...
Marry me.
And that's the end of their love triangle. I'm like, yay. I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
I think Norma and Ed make a great couple.
Yeah, Norma. Good old Norma. And so then we already talked about Cooper going to see Josie.
Yeah.
And
she seems so happy. And this is...
we're talking about Catherine.
She, like, in my head, I'm like, did she shoot Cooper? Did she do all this and is pinning it on Josie because she's using Josie as her slave, as her housemaid?
Yeah,
you know?
Catherine Martell is definitely manipulating the situation. And, I mean, Josie is definitely guilty of a lot of stuff, but it's like she's taking advantage of this. And
yeah, I mean, listen, we're in the same episode. Come to find out, you know, Josie did do these things.
Yes.
But my thinking right now, watching this episode, was maybe she's being set up. She seems so conflicted. But I also feel she's conflicted because she wants... I feel like ultimately she wants to have a normal life, and this is horrible, like a very horrible thing for her.
Yeah, I mean, she's kind of boxed in a corner. I mean, there's no way out now.
And nobody's helping her.
No.
Yeah, so she's just kind of stuck.
I mean, I don't know how you can... I mean, it's hard to get help at this point unless you turn yourself in and admit to doing the things you did.
Yeah. Nobody wants to turn themselves in.
Right. And so we mentioned already Kathleen.
Kathleen. I always call her Catherine.
I know, and I'm trying to...
That's my fault.
I know,
That's
but I
fault.
sometimes say it too, so that happens. But she's now going to basically show her where the gun is. That was kind of a nice touch. She's like, I'm going to move this book. Oh, there's a gun right there. It's like, you should probably take that.
And then she hugs it. Because she wants to, Eckhart and Packard, she wants someone to die.
Well, definitely,
yeah. She's using Josie to do something to, you know.
Josie to kill Eckhart.
Yep. And she's so sneaky because she doesn't get her hands dirty.
Right.
You know?
And so now we're back in Ben Horn's office, and he's now eating celery. He makes me think of kind of like Bugs Bunny here with his... It's not a
his
carrot,
jumper suit and his celery. Trying to look at my notes.
And Jerry Horn's back, and Bobby, and I like that he calls him Bob. You know, like it's like grown up Bobby is now Bob. And so John Wheeler, which he also I think goes by Jack, is there to help out with the business, and they're gonna. I think they want to save the weasel.
The pine weasel.
The pine weasel. Yes.
Yeah, basically saying, well, it's going to be extinct if this land is, they use this land. We are going to preserve the land to save the pine weasel, and nobody can do anything, and that would block
the whole Ghostwood project.
Yes.
Now, I can't tell. It's hard to tell. I mean, Jerry definitely mentions this, but it's hard to tell if Ben has those same intentions. You would think he does. I mean, I can't tell if he's doing it for good reasons or if he's really trying to get back at the Martell.
You know what?
It's
also weird because the last time we saw him with Martell, they were getting close.
Yes.
So who knows if she's pulling his strings now?
Right.
I don't know. Or is he was deceived by her.
Right.
Now, could he be the one to deceive her? Like, she did it to him. Now he's going to go, I'm going to get you back.
Yeah.
But I'm going to play friendly with you to your face.
Of course.
You know?
Yes.
That's what it's all about.
It's all about that.
Yeah.
So then the next thing we have is the Double R Diner. I think we talked about this. That's when big. We hear about we hear about a sister coming to Norma's sister's coming to Twin Peaks.
Yet another character.
Oh, and Wyndham Earl is dressed up as a truck driver.
Yeah.
He's leaving notes for.
I like he's wearing
Shelley
his
Johnson.
CDC hat to make it like well known that he's a truck driver.
Yes.
Because I wear my TV hat to make sure everybody knows I'm a TV guy. Hey, I'm a podcaster. I have my podcast hat on.
Yeah. So that's just Norma getting off the phone that her sister will be coming soon.
Do we meet her sister?
Yep, we'll meet her.
Oh God.
Yep, she's coming out of a convent.
If she's anything like her mom, we're in for a ride.
Well, her sister. It would be her sister.
I know, but her mom was like a trip.
The food critic.
Is her sister like a soda connoisseur? Or, your soda's flats. You'll never open a diner up here again. So Shelley gets a note. They find the note when they're cleaning up the counter, and Shelley gets the note number 2.
Number 2.
And Ed comes in and grabs her, and they kiss, and everybody's happy. I wrote in my notes, Leo is a tool, because he's just sitting there whittling with a big grin on his face.
Right.
And he's just like a big Goomba. Like, I don't even know what he does anymore. Does he even know what he does? And
I mean, I think he's still partially a vegetable. I mean, he's not completely...
He's being brainwashed.
He's not completely Leo. But you want to hear some audio? Maybe?
Yeah.
Just a few more, and then we'll eat. Fly to my breast. Pierce me in colors autumnal. Speak to me only of love. Leo. You have an incomplete education. For instance, survival in the wilderness? A relevant issue in your life, my friend. Now, this comes under the heading of practical instruction. I hope you've been paying attention. Nature is cruel.
Nature's cruel.
So what do you make of Wyndham Earl? What do you think of this evil ex-partner of Cooper's?
It's also I think about I thought about that watching that scene. It's just like, how did someone, the transition? Like, he was a normal guy. Obviously, he was partners with Cooper, and just to flip a switch and become this psychotic.
Yeah,
there's something more there. Like, I feel like this guy, they play this guy up like he's been psychotic forever, and maybe he was.
And maybe it was. Maybe he was better at acting it, and
maybe he was pretending to be a nice guy.
Right.
Oh, we get our traditional in the jail cell talk.
Yes, Norma comes to visit Hank and asks for a divorce.
And basically, it's sort of like the last time Martell and
Ben Horn.
Yeah. And they were like, if you do this, I'll do that.
Right.
This time around, it's like, if you do this, I do that. She's like, screw you.
No,
I want a divorce. I want a divorce.
I think I remember hearing in real life the actor who played Hank was a little rough with her. I mean, I don't know if he was method acting and stuff, but I don't think she appreciated it and stuff. Like, I think he was just a little rougher, like shoving her into the bars and stuff.
Oh, really?
I thought that's what I remember hearing about and stuff. So,
and she didn't like it?
Yeah, the actress. I mean, I think they were just played it a little too rough, if I remember reading right.
Yeah, he gets like a little.
He gets intense because he's always played it off like really sweet and nice. Like, oh, I understand. I understand. I can't blame you for wanting to leave me, but I really want to make it up to you. And then he comes. He shows his true colors and is like, it's like, I'm not going to divorce you unless you do this for me.
Yep. And I like how she finally stands up for herself.
Yep.
So having her sister come into the story, is that going to like mess things up again with her? Don't tell me. Okay. But I feel like I want her and Ed to just have a happy life. So I feel like another family member is just going to mess things up. What if Ed falls in love with her?
Dun dun dun.
Oh God, I hope not.
People right now listening are like, we love your theories, Bryon.
I know.
You have the best theories.
Yeah, because I feel like her life has been like a crazy mom with a crazy ex-convict boyfriend.
Yeah, husband.
Her husband's crazy.
Yeah.
She finally found a somewhat normal guy, and her sister's coming into town.
Yeah, her sister's coming in, yep.
That spells trouble.
I don't think it's gonna be that bad.
I hope not.
So the back to the sheriff's station, and Pete is helping with chess with Cooper and Harry Truman there. And this is the last time we'll see Albert. Albert comes in to give him his last evidence that he has on Josie.
Oh, yeah.
We can bring up the audio. This is his last scene here. So, and Harry knows that something's up. He's like, why is Albert not talking in front of me?
Yeah.
Here it is straight
He's
up.
got sad puppy eyes.
I've got a match on the gun that whacked you with the powder residue on Josie Packard's gloves. Seattle police have also come up with an eyewitness who positively ID'd Josie leaving the car where they found the stiff. Now, if you ain't gonna bust this bitch, I would consider it a personal...
Albert, I can handle it.
Oh, wait, here we go.
I think you just did.
I think you just did.
I like that. Sometimes I like the solitude of just them doing their talk and then Harry coming out to the hallway and noticing the whole thing. And you don't have to say, Harry, your girlfriend is a mess and she shot me and blah, blah, blah. You just can tell. I mean, I like those type of scenes.
Yep.
And this is Josie's looking in the mirror is a reminder of the pilot. Remember in the pilot, the first person we see is Josie looking in the mirror. She's putting lipstick on.
Wow, it's been that long.
Yeah, it's been that long, but it's kind of neat in a way that, like, I think it's not. I think we all know that her storyline is coming to an end in this episode. So it's kind of comes full circle that she's looking in the mirror.
She's looking in the man in the mirror.
She's looking at herself, and she has another conversation with Andrew, and Andrew's basically, again, saying, "Oh, you never really did love me, did you?" And
and he's just like, he just gives her a speech and takes off. But we go back to I'm very interested in this. Donna and James meet up for a picnic.
Yes. Well, I mean, here's the thing: again, we're kind of going full circle that they fell in love from the picnic with Laura. Like Laura and Donna and James all had a picnic together, and that's when they first started falling in love. And so, yeah, it's kind of fitting in a way that they would come back to a picnic together.
But James says, "I'm leaving," and does that mean he's done? Did we ever see him again?
He's gone.
He's gone.
Yes, another. So this is the third person from on this episode that is leaving and never to be seen again.
Wow, and it's kind of opening the doors up for the show to give us the most interesting plot.
I think so. I mean, I think some of these are not. I mean, James and the Evelyn storyline was not as great.
Yeah,
and Josie, I never was a big fan. I mean, sometimes it would hurt your brain to think about like what's going on with the Josie storyline, but it's not my favorite. My favorite, of course, is the Cooper stuff. I mean, the Cooper mystery and Twin Peaks.
So let me ask you a question: does he go off and get a spinoff called James on NBC? Where he hangs out with his friends.
He goes to another town and meets this blonde, rich woman, and
I know, right?
They already did the spinoff, basically.
Yeah, that was a spinoff. Huh?
So I think, and James Marshall is the actor, and I think he had a movie that he was going to go do, and so that was something he decided to go off. And the same thing with Josie. I mean, the woman who plays the actress who plays Josie, she asked to be out of her contract because she had a movie she wanted to do.
And these movies probably didn't do very well.
I don't think so. No. I mean, the one that Josie did, the actress did there, it didn't do very well. So it was one of the things where you have this hype for Twin Peaks, and some of these actors want to try other things now.
Yeah.
So that's it for James and Donna. And I think James is like, "Oh, you can come with me, Donna," and she's like, "Nah.
I don't want to have strange adventures with you." Yeah, she's smart. She's going to stay in Twin Peaks and marry Jack Nicholson eventually. Josie's going to see Thomas Eckhardt. Am I saying his name right?
I know, Eckhardt.
Eckhardt.
I think it's Eckhardt.
Yeah, Eckhardt.
I'm sure somebody will tell us that we still said it wrong. But
yeah, well, because Harry shows up at the Martells.
Yep.
And he's like, "Where is she?" And they're like, "Oh, I think she packed and she's never coming back."
Right. And then, and maybe we should do. We got to have some of this elevator scene here.
Oh yes.
Come on.
We meet again. I don't believe in ghosts.
Pity it's an appealing notion. The return of the grisly phantom from the grave. You deserve haunting, to be sure. Look closer, Thomas. I'm alive!
I'm alive. You think you'd be more surprised to see someone that's supposed to be dead?
Yeah, you would think so, right? There's very little
they continue to look forward.
Yeah.
Like he's just kind of like, maybe he's almost thinking, is this guy crazy? Is this really him? It's a cool scene. It's kind of cool to see these two guys side by side finally.
Yeah, we've talked about them, and we haven't really. Yeah, they kind of meet up, and Andrew again is kind of baiting him and saying, "Oh, Josie's coming to get you."
Yeah,
and it's like basically, I think they really want them to kill each other. I think Josie and Eckerd to just kill each other. Yeah, so it's a pretty cool scene. And then we're back to the Audrey Horne and Ben and Jack Wheeler there just talking.
Yeah, this is where I got the notion that there is this like tension between Jack and Audrey.
Yeah,
they like each other in a way.
Well, even when they were on the couch together, she was kind of kept on giving glances at him and stuff. Yeah, there's definitely some kind of chemistry, or it seems like Audrey's taken by him.
And it feels to me like she's being protective of her and the family. She doesn't want someone to just come in and muck with things.
Right.
She knows they need... Well, I feel like ultimately they need help, but she feels that they don't really need help. They could do it themselves.
Right.
But I think she thinks he's handsome, good-looking guy. He has his hair. He's not bald yet.
Yeah. You know what's interesting is...
Because Billy Zane goes bald later in life. He's like bald every time I saw Billy Zane. He's bald.
The thing about this is interesting is that like her father is a businessman, and like a lot of times they say girls kind of marry people that are like their father in some ways. In some ways, he's like a good version of her father. Like he seems like he comes off as a very good person. I mean, he doesn't come off like he has evil intentions. He seems like somebody that tries to do good things.
Good point.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that, but yeah, he's a business guy too. You're right, and they look almost identical in age. We did talk about how she's like, but I'm only 18.
And I think she says this to Cooper. There's another episode, of course, she says this to Cooper. That's her favorite line. It's like, I'm only 18. And he's like, well, what's that about?
I think she says it to boys she likes.
Yes.
Because afterwards, he just kind of like glances and, like you can tell he likes her. After this, we get the Donna, Shelley, and Audrey meet up at the bar. And they all connect their notes. And Wyndham Earle is leering from the bar, watching them.
Do you want to bring up some audio?
Yeah.
Somebody wants me to meet them here. Strange. That is strange. Look what I have.
Hey, looks like we all have something to talk about.
It fits. See the mountains kiss high heaven, and the waves clasp one another. No sister flower would be forgiven if it disdained its brother. And the sunlight clasps the earth, and the moonbeams kiss the sea. What is all this sweet work worth, if thou kiss not me?
Yeah, he's giving them some sort of thing. Because last we saw, he goes, which one will be my queen? So, obviously, is he baiting all three? Is he trying to get one of them to figure it out and to just show up and he can get her? I don't know. Like, how is he picking the person he wants to be his queen?
I don't know. I know. I don't know either.
Or is this like, was that just something random and he's going to go for all three of them? You don't tell me, but that's the things I think about. So then we go to Cooper. He's pretending to fly fish. He's practicing fly fishing in his bed with his orange little rope, his orange thread. Now he hears gunshots, which is interesting that this murder would happen in the same hotel Cooper's in. Why would they do that? Why would Josie shoot someone in the same place she knows that Cooper's in? Did she do it on purpose to be found out or something?
No.
Or is this coincidence?
I think the thing is that like I think she's just so stressed out that like she's afraid that he's gonna kill her, that she kills him first.
And he's staying there. He's staying at the Great Northern.
Yeah.
So he has to go to where he is.
Right. So I think this must be his room.
It has to be his room.
Yeah. In the script, he had a knife, but I don't know if we see anything with him right now.
No.
It's funny we don't see any gun or anything, but she still feels threatened enough.
See, this is the thing. She's sleeping, or I don't know, looks passed out. He stumbles up, smiles, passes out, dies. He's shot or something. Blood's on him, and then she gets up, and you have the whole standoff. Harry shows up too, and you're like, yeah. And Harry's like, I know. And she, what do you think? Did she have a stroke, a heart attack? Like, dies of a lonely heart? Like, she just dies.
Yeah, and I think, it will be explained a little bit.
Will it?
It'll definitely get explained, but it is very bizarre that it just happens. Do you want to bring up some audio?
Yeah.
Tried to kill you. What about Jonathan? Did he try to kill you too?
He was taking me back.
Why did you shoot me, Josie?
Because you came here. I knew this day was going to come. I'm not going to jail. I can't.
Put it down, Josie.
Harry?
Put it down! Now he's really angry.
Forgive me. I never meant to hurt you.
Put it down. I thought she was going to kill herself.
And in the script, it made out to be that she was going to kill herself a lot. I don't think it shows it very well in the TV show, but in the script, it looked like she really was going to kill herself.
Really? I thought she was, but then she just faints. But he's like, she's dead.
She's dead.
So I'm like, what did she die? And like all that stress was killing her.
Yeah, I think that's probably it. And then all of a sudden...
So this is what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
What the frick? Okay. So let's go through this. This is going to be the majority of the episode we're going to talk about. Like, white light shows up. So it feels like the vision that we saw the giant with, but we see Bob.
Yeah.
And I'll bring up the audio just a little bit.
What happened to Josie?
Why would Bob and the little man from another place
starts dancing on Josie's bed. And I do have a little bit of trouble with little man dancing on the bed because I've never seen him outside of the red room. So it's kind of the dream thing. So it was a little weird. Like I never actually imagined him anywhere but.
This is what I'm trying to here. If you want to pause it for a second, this is what I guess a couple episodes ago I was trying to say, and this is no fault of the writers or anybody because they're trying to make a show that everybody loved in season 1. They're using those things.
Yeah.
But that's like for me, it's like when you have a show that goes its course and everybody loves certain things about it, and then new people take over and they take those things everybody loved, but they use it more often than the original people were using.
Right.
So I kind of feel like the owls are really a lot more. And then all of a sudden we see Bob.
At least images of the owls. We don't actually get... Well, we did have some owls when Leo was in the forest, but...
It's owl heavy.
Yeah.
And then the stuff they really made, the mysteries have become more often. Like you're seeing them more. The cliches of the show maybe, and like it was weird to see Bob. Why is Bob saying that? And then the little man dancing, I thought the same thing like you. Like we've seen those in his dreams. Now Bob can be outside as a hallucination or whoever, and obviously Cooper's affected by Bob somehow, but the little man was a little odd to me too. I thought that was weird. The white spotlight which we saw with the horse. So the spotlight, it's all those weird things.
Like the white spotlight shows up anytime these spirits, because I think there's kind of there's white spotlights in the dream of the little man. They're in the curtains, and then you have them when the giant shows up. So I feel like anytime these spirits show up, they do have kind of this white light. So it's I don't know if it's a vision or what we're back to the beginning of the series when we're talking about visions and dreams and
so Harry and Josie disappear and all these things happen.
Right.
So
it's kind of like just like Roadhouse. Remember, like back when they were in the Roadhouse and we found out Maddie.
Yeah.
We had the Cooper and we had the giant say, "It is happening again. It's happening again." The band disappears and you just have this moment, this connection between Cooper and the giant.
But that felt like it happened for a reason. This, for right now, for me, it doesn't feel like it happened for any reason. Why would Bob say that? Like,
for the audience, I feel like I don't know. In my own opinion, the writers are almost saying we have a new mystery to go on, and part of this mystery is understanding why did Josie die and stuff like that. And so,
see, I see it as they could have gave us something new instead of rehashing things. Like you had a little man, you had the giant, you have a horse, you had Bob. But they could have used a new premonition. You know what I'm saying? So they're reusing stuff we've already seen before to tell a different story. It would have been cool if they put something different there.
Yeah. At the same time, I miss Bob. I mean, like, I think both of us were expecting episode 17, right after the Laura Palmer mystery, that we're going to learn more about Bob.
And
like,
we haven't.
And he's just been missing the whole time. And I mean, Cooper basically says to Mrs. Palmer, "Oh, he's gone forever," and stuff like that. And I don't think the audience ever believed that, especially when we said, "Where's Bob now?" When we see this owl and stuff like that. So it's been a long stretch of time waiting for. I think with 5-6 episodes or whatever it's been now, it's waiting for Bob. So, I mean, I'm glad that Bob's back, but I also understand what you're saying. Was this the best way to bring him back into the story?
Yeah, and what does Bob represent here? Was Bob representing the old guy, Eckhart?
I don't think so.
Because he was a bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, why? Harry loved her, so it wouldn't be Harry. And Cooper, he was just doing what he should be doing. So why was Bob there? Bob represents someone bad,
or maybe there's evil still happening and bad things still happening. I don't know, but it's not clear.
Or Bob's like, she shouldn't have had to die?
Right.
And the little man thing, it feels random at this point.
Yeah.
For me, it was random. I don't know. I mean, does it play out why he was there at all?
I don't know. Not really.
Not really? Without ruining everything for me?
No, I'm not ruining anything. I don't think this is...
And then, so we're going back to the log lady. The log lady says the drawer. Yes. And here's the drawer.
So we're back on the bed of Harry and Josie, and then it pans over to the nightstand, and we get close up of the drawer knob.
Yeah.
And as we get close up there, we see an image of Josie in the knob, and she's screaming, and then her face kind of stretches out of the knob like she's trapped in this knob.
Yeah. Some bad CG work.
It's 1991.
I know. But why? I didn't get it.
So here's the thing: this is something that David Lynch specifically asked for. Like this is this is something he wanted.
He wanted.
So I mean, I don't think the director or the writers or anybody understood it. But David Lynch said, "I want you to add this in there."
Interesting. It is weird. Does that play out to anything?
Not really.
Does anything in that drawer?
Not that I can remember. No. So
that means yes.
No. That means no.
Really?
That means I don't.
Because the log lady tells us there's a mystery with someone, obviously she's talking about Josie and they show her in the drawer.
As we go through the series, I mean, and maybe even in the movie, we can talk more about Josie. So, I mean, Josie might come up more.
But there's nothing in that drawer that's going to, open a secret to why she did what she did?
I mean, one interpretation can be that she's in another dimension or she's in another space, another...
Did Bob take her?
That could be. I mean,
I know you can't tell me.
Can't really, I want as we go along. I mean, there's
my theory.
I think there's stuff they were gonna do, and I don't know if they're gonna play it out.
All right. Well, my theory would be right now. I came up with I came on this theory that Bob, if you saw Bob, that Bob take Josie, and Josie's in the doorknob.
Yeah. Right.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
All right. That's what I'm going with.
And I think the idea of the representing of this doorknob or doorknob, the
drawer knob,
is this that I mean, I don't. She didn't die in peace. I mean, this is definitely. She's definitely in a.
Yeah.
She she was very angst and very stressed, and I don't think so she definitely didn't die in a happy
And
space.
it's made out of wood, which assuming it's made out from a tree, which I'm assuming the tree is from the forest they currently are in Twin Peaks.
I like that.
She's in with the...
She's in the log.
The log.
Or wood.
She's in the wood.
I like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a strange episode. It's definitely the end, and I mean it's funny to missing that episode and then see it on VHS. And it's like, oh, I mean it was great to see the little man from another place. It was cool to see Bob, but did it really work? I don't know. I mean, and it'll play out a little more, but not. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been cool if they did something different. Bob would make sense if she's in this dimension with Bob, but the little man, for me right now, just seemed kind of like people like that. Let's put that back in there.
Right.
You know,
what do you make? I mean, so having seen 23 episodes and the pilot, what do you make of the little man? What is the little man? Do you think good, bad, indifferent? I mean, like, what do you make of this?
Oh,
I mean,
man.
it's a dream. I mean, like if we're putting logic to these, I mean, we know that Bob represents kind of evil. Is there any representation you can give to the little man?
Oh, the whole Red Room stuff?
Or just, I'm thinking of the character.
I also feel the Red Room represents having him there. Having him on a bed seems out of place.
Yeah.
I feel like he belongs in that Red Room.
Right.
You know?
I agree. Is he a bad guy or is he a good guy or doesn't really make
No, I feel like maybe he's kind of like... He's in the middle, like the giant. He's just giving you clues. They know more that's going on than everybody else.
Right.
And I think they want to help.
Yeah.
But how they help is how they just got to give it to you in some weird backwards talking and stuff. I don't think they're bad. Bob's bad, but Little Man, I don't think so.
Yeah. And so like these 6 or 7 episodes or whatever it was, one of the things I had complained about was that we didn't have a real path for Cooper to go on. Like in the first season, he had this Red Room dream that kind of like gave him clues to kind of do his investigation. And then in the second season, at the beginning of the second season, we had the giant, and he kind of led them along.
Yeah.
And you didn't get anything from these last 6 or 7 episodes where Cooper was kind of on his own. He was kind of discovering himself. He had the whole saying maybe I'm going to live here and maybe I won't be an FBI agent. But I kind of I love that kind of like supernatural element, and it comes back here, but
in a different way.
In a different way, but it's something.
Yeah. It's definitely, it was a cool episode. I like the ending. The ending does have that, it brings you back to that old Twin Peaks feel.
Yeah.
So I did like that.
Right.
It did.
And it was a cool showdown with Cooper and Josie, that they had guns pointing at each other, and then Truman comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at this point, he's not. It's funny. Like every time he used to see Josie, he's like, "Let's make out."
Yep.
It's like you're definitely not gonna make out in this situation.
No.
You're kind of like, "That's it. This is the last straw."
And it's kind of interesting to know that we're done with James, Josie,
and Albert.
That stinks. Albert the most.
Albert stinks
the most.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's it, Ben.
I think that is.
Until next week.
So I'm going to end the show. I thought it was maybe about a month or so ago. Sparkwood and 21, my favorite Twin Peaks podcast besides our own. It's a great podcast. I really think everybody should check it out. Em and Steve.
I just subscribed. I'm not going to listen until I finish the show.
Yeah, because they are. It's very important because they are a spoil cast. Yeah. I mean, from day one, they will. They let you know that they've seen it and they don't want to like rehash the whole thing. They do go over the whole episode, but they do it in a spoiling way. So it's a great show, and thank you guys for mentioning us. That Steve and Em they've mentioned us before.
Nice.
But I love their show. They had Joel Bacco on there, and and they've had a lot of great guests on in the last month. I think Daniel Smith was on there. And we also had John, who writes to us every once in a while.
Yes, John. He's been writing to us since last year.
Yeah, he's really good. He's
nice guy.
He's a nice guy, and he does construction criticism, like especially when it comes to the names. I mean, when it comes to the names, we mess up. He lets us know, which is good.
Which is a good thing. We have been doing our best this year to really step
it up a
a
little bit.
And I know I'm worse. I can't say Catherine and Kathleen. And, oh, God. The problem is when I know someone in real life with that name, that's the name that sticks in my head.
Oh, yeah.
And I have a hard time changing it up.
So John Bernardi
Yep.
Bernardi. Bernardi. He was on the show. He was on Sparkwood and 21 recently, and I thought it was I was actually driving to work, and I was listening to the show, and I thought it was so funny the part that he had. He talks about Andrew, Andrew Martell. And it was really, I thought, Packard, I'm sorry, he's a Packard.
Yep.
But it was really funny, and I thought, we got to share this. And I got permission from Em and Steve and John to actually play this little piece. So I thought we would end the show with John talking about his theory to all kinds of mysteries on Twin Peaks, and it all revolves around Andrew.
I can't wait to hear this. And
it's really funny. It's just a fun stuff that they did.
Cool. And
so you should check out, you really guys should check out the whole episode and listen to, if you guys have finished watching Twin Peaks, check out Sparkwood and 21.
Yeah, and before we get going, you can follow us on Twitter, Twin Peaks Unwrapped.
On Facebook?
On Facebook. You can like us. We've gotten more likes on Facebook.
Yeah.
I've been posting photos of me watching Twin Peaks and stuff with my Twin Peaks mug you got me for Christmas, Ben. Thank you again.
I saw that picture.
That
was good. You got most of the mug in the shot with the TV show.
With the TV.
That was cool.
And your paper comes out. We've been really that's getting a lot of
Mondays and Thursdays, the community paper. Twin Peaks Unwrapped paper. And what I love about that is it's the community. It's Twitter and Facebook and YouTube. They're the ones that put out the news about Twin Peaks, and then we put it together and put it out on Mondays and Thursdays.
That's awesome. And then you can email us your comments, your questions, your critiques at twinpeaksunwrapped@gmail.com. And please, iTunes, subscribe and rate us. We are actually getting more ratings on iTunes. I looked, and you found this out, and I didn't know that you have to log into different countries to see reviews from different people from different countries.
That
means it's so pain in the butt.
Thank you for everybody. I know we got it from all different countries, and we got one from the UK, and a couple other places. But that's tricky because then
my iTunes freezes every time I switch countries. I had to switch countries, it froze. It sucked.
I know. Why can't they just put it all the countries into one reviews?
I know. But
thank you everybody.
Please keep doing that. That's awesome.
So we will be back next week. And this is Twin Peaks Unwrapped. I'm Ben Durant.
I'm Bryon Kazaska.
And this is John Bernardi and his little theory about Twin Peaks from Sparkwood and 21 podcast.
So next we're going to read Jubal's questions, because before we read your own questions.
Sure. All right. So Jubal came up with a few questions that he had for everybody else that we were doing interviews with. So his first one is, who is your candidate for the identity of the mystery man who shows up in episode 2 in the drug deal scene between Leo, Mike, and Bobby?
I want to start with the fish in the percolator. I want to explain how that fish got in the percolator.
Okay.
All right. So, sounds interesting.
I'm going to read this verbatim. It's a goofball idea how that fish showed up in the percolator in season 1. It was Andrew Packard, sneaking around behind the scenes like Leslie Linka Gladder's hunchback seamstress character. As he puts the fish in the percolator, he mutters quietly and gleefully to no one, "I'm alive!" When the two ledgers turn into one ledger and the other goes missing, it was Andrew in the middle of the night. Michael on Catherine's bed. After that argument we see between Pete and Catherine, every time since, it's been Andrew doing it. He dips his fingers in Pete's bottle and flicks it gleefully all over her bed every time Catherine is on a rendezvous with Ben. Oh, and that mysterious man in the woods who Leo tells Mike and Bobby not to worry about, that was Andrew, too. Listen closely, and you can hear it muffled by the ski mask. I'm alive!
Yeah. This is quite possibly the best theory that I've ever heard.
And I actually read that, but I'm so glad I got to hear you read it.
I just hope that grows legs somewhere, because that would be so fun. I would get such a kick out of that.
I bet Jubal's appreciating it.
Out of all the characters that I never thought that I would hear anybody impersonate for the rest of my life, Andrew Packard